Law enforcement authorities continue their fight against the illegal mining crisis in South Africa. Apart from arresting illegal miners, they have also arrested some of the kingpins. But are they winning the fight at this stage? For more insight, I'm joined by Lizette Lancaster. She is from the Institute for Security Studies and she joins me via Zoom. Lizette, thank you very much for your time. So we've arrested some kingpins, right? And yesterday the asset forfeiture unit went into their apartments to attach some of their assets. But does this put a dent on this? Because at least from our eyes as South Africans, unless the reporting has increased, it doesn't look like illegal mining is under control.
Yes, thank you. So I think we need to congratulate the DPCI, otherwise known as the Hawks, and the NPA on these arrests. It is very encouraging for us to see these joint operations. The link is in order to get successful prosecutions and convictions, we do need organizations or institutions to work together. And I think we are seeing it here. 6 arrests are quite significant of what is called kingpins. Of course, we don't know how far up the ladder they are. We know that they are involved with the receipt of the gold and the smuggling, I suppose, or trading of it. Whether they are actually running the operations, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure it will come out in court papers. But these are the type of arrests we need to see on an ongoing level basis across all these mines and areas. Of course, we also need monitoring of these areas because it's very easy for other people to start moving in. But back to your question about successes, you know, it might not just be on illegal mining that we are now starting to see these higher level arrests. We are starting to see in the past 3 years this increase in operations involving the asset forfeiture unit, their success rate. We are seeing large millions of rands amounting to over a couple of billion of rand of assets being seized and successfully attached. So this is really good news. It doesn't feel like it because we just see these cases in isolation, but I think we can say that if we look at the figures in the annual reports, there's definitely an increase. Of course, we never know what dent it is putting because I don't think, have a good hold on how many of these syndicates are.
But at least it also, you talk about the partnership, for instance, between the DPCI, which is the Hawks, and the Asset Forfeiture Unit and the NPA. Very important partnership for them to get this going. But also intelligence and police should also, be a bit more involved because they should be on the ground level.
Exactly, and we know that they prioritize their operations as well in terms of what is said to be their priorities. So I think it is really important that crime intelligence, we've talked about this a lot over the years, that it continues to be strengthened and also that we regain that trust from communities at a local level with the police because that's where information comes from and emanate from. Communities very often know who the kingpins are, where they live. But if there's no trust in authorities to keep them safe or to take action, maybe there's a belief that the authorities are complicit. This information is not forthcoming. And we are hoping that through these operations and publicizing these operations and seeing more of this, but of course also seeing convictions, that communities see that it is worth it. But of course, crime intelligence is a long way to go in terms of building that confidence again.
But I guess also, just to go back to your point about strengthening the relations and even dealing with the deficit of trust between communities and police in order to be able to deter, these criminals and to be able to show unity, at least in terms of the fear that they might inflict on communities.
Exactly. I think if we are seeing the rounding up of not just the foot soldiers, the zamazamas themselves, but also the kingpins and interrupting these networks, those communities living there will be more willing to point out other parts or tentacles of the network and really start helping to dismantle these networks. Because, you know, it's always difficult to know if you've dismantled the entire network, and there's always willing people to take up those positions.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that authorities, you know, also keep on communicating with these communities that are living in fear daily. But I think it's really good news, and I think it's really a good progress made in also maybe getting the communities on authorities' side.
Definitely something to celebrate. It's not all doom and gloom, at least with this particular part of the case. Tessa, thank you very much for speaking to us. Lizette, excuse me. Thank you very much for speaking to us here on eNCA. Lizette Lancaster, she manages Crime, Justice, Information Hub and Violence Prevention Program at the Institute for Security Studies. So it is good news, at least. There have been arrests, and those arrests happened last year, towards the end of last year. These kingpins have been appearing throughout the course of this year, and today Avium Dila, our senior reporter, is actually at the court case of others who were arrested, making it about 10, from 7 to 10. 3 more were arrested yesterday. So we're going somewhere, we're heading somewhere, and yesterday finding out through the Hawks that they've actually been able to get the asset forfeiture unit to go to the properties of the kingpins and attach those as well to ensure that you know, they're able to show that they're still out there. All right, still to